and as basketball players. They stink. The big story here is, did you see how empty the damn gym was? Did you see how empty this arena was? It looks like Caitlin Clark fans have taken a stand after all and have refused to show up to the Indiana Fever game. We got to get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like.
Look at those seats. Every single one of them empty. Upper deck completely barren. Entire sections with nobody sitting in them. This isn't a random Tuesday night game in a small market. This is Indiana. This is the team that shattered WNBA attendance records just months ago. The team that had fans camping out for tickets. And now, you could hear a pin drop in that arena. What you're looking at is the result of the most organized fan boycott in WNBA history. And it happened for a very specific reason.
And you could spot a nickel on the floor. Bad. Look at it. This whole section is empty. The entire section is empty. All it is, empty. I mean, this is just one shot. I mean, it looks really, really bad. It looks like the damage has been done, and the fans have stood up and said enough is enough. Okay? It looks like the fans said enough's enough, man. We're not
5 minutes before tip-off. That's what this photo shows. 5 minutes before the Indiana Fever take the court, and the building looks like a ghost town. The contrast is staggering when you remember what these games looked like in June and July. Fever games were the hottest ticket in women's basketball. Sellout after sellout. Standing room only. Fans wearing Caitlin Clark jerseys packed into every available space. Now look at it. The upper deck isn't just sparse. It's completely empty. You can count the people up there on one hand. Entire rows in the lower bowl sitting vacant. This isn't poor ticket sales. This is a deliberate statement.
And here it says the fans are tired and want the Indiana Fever to step up better and protect Caitlin Clark. They seem to be speaking with their pockets. Call out the commissioner directly and stop sending little hints. And yeah, it looks like the people have spoke, man. The people have definitely spoke in this photo. It is empty seats everywhere. You already know they've been giving away all types of stuff, free tires, free Bath and Body Works kits and all types of stuff to get people to come out. And it looks like the people told them no today. They told them hell no today.
Here's what led to this moment. For weeks, Fever fans had been watching their franchise player get targeted with dangerous plays. We're not talking about hard fouls or physical defense. We're talking about plays that cross the line. Alyssa Thomas clotheslining Caitlin Clark across the throat in a game against Connecticut. Angel Reese getting away with a blatant headshot. DeJounte Carrington's eye poke that the league barely acknowledged. Each incident followed the same pattern. Dangerous play happens. Social media erupts. The league issues a weak statement or a one-game suspension. Nothing changes. And Caitlin keeps getting hit. The fans watch the Indiana Fever organization stay silent. They watched head coach Christy Sides give diplomatic answers in press conferences. They watched the front office refuse to publicly defend their star player. And they decided enough was enough.
Since
I'd like to address the AT situation. First off, the Mercury organization would like to let AT know that she's 100% supported by us. The people in this league know who AT is.
Yeah, we know her to be dirty. We saw her choke slam Angel Reese. We saw what she just did to Caitlin Clark. She's the reason Nafisa Collier is still out of basketball right now. Pardon.
The boycott wasn't just talk on social media. It was real, organized, coordinated. Fans who had bought tickets chose not to show up. They posted photos of their unused tickets online with messages directed at Fever management and WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. The message was clear: protect Caitlin Clark, or we're not coming back. And look at the result. The Indiana Fever had been averaging over 15,000 fans per game during the peak of the season. This game against the Los Angeles Sparks, it looks like they barely cracked 7,000. That's not a small dip. That's a collapse. That's half your fan base walking away. The organization had been giving away promotional items to boost attendance. Free tires, bath and body care packages, discount ticket bundles. None of it worked. When your fans are boycotting on principle, free stuff doesn't change their minds.
She's the reason Nafisa Collier is still out of basketball right now. Like right now. So we're not about to sit here and act like, oh, we know who she is. She's some angel. Hell no. She dirty.
She's a competitor. she's a winner and she's tough. The one thing she is not is cheap. I respect Steph White. I got to know her with USA Basketball. I respect her as a coach and a person, and I understand her sticking up for Caitlin in this situation. But to say that we had 2 cheap shots in that game, to me, is ridiculous.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Y'all had 2 dirty-ass plays. What are you talking about?
Steph knows AT. She was...
Now let's talk about what sparked this specific boycott. The Alyssa Thomas incident. Connecticut Sun versus Indiana Fever. 4th quarter of a close game. Caitlin Clark drives to the basket. Alyssa Thomas doesn't go for the ball. She doesn't attempt a legitimate defensive play. She extends her arm directly across Caitlin's throat and drives her to the ground in what can only be described as a clothesline. The officials reviewed it, called it a flagrant 1 foul. 1 game suspension from the league. That's it. Alyssa Thomas sat out 1 game for a play that could have seriously injured the WNBA's biggest star. But here's where it gets worse. Connecticut Sun head coach Nate Tibbetts held a press conference defending Alyssa Thomas. Not just defending her, attacking anyone who criticized the play. He claimed the league didn't properly investigate. He said they relied too much on social media reaction. And then he played the race card, suggesting the suspension only happened because Caitlin Clark is white and has a large fan base. That press conference was the breaking point for Fever fans.
Got the opportunity to coach AT for 2 years, and she knows what AT stands for and what she's about. Next, I'd like to hit on my disappointment with the suspension process by our league and our leaders in the W. This was not a thorough investigation, in my opinion. The people involved were not questioned at all. It's extremely disappointing. No one from the league called AT.
Hold on, man. What are we calling y'all for? Wait, it's on video. It's on video. What are we calling y'all for? Well, why would they have to call y'all? You know what you did. What are they gonna call you? What are you gonna say? What are they gonna call you and say? Yo, you suspended, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You used her throat like it was a dumbbell that you was bench pressing or something. Like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. Oh, they didn't call us to see. We'll call y'all to see what? This dude is a nut, man. Nate Tibbetts, disappointed in you. Disgusting.
Security team or myself about what we felt like happened in this situation. There is a protocol to be followed. Just coming from the NBA, there's been many investigations that I've heard about that there was calls on both sides, and that was not done in this situation, and that's disappointing. I agree with everyone's stance. Let's continue to clean up our game. I'm part of the referee task force, the same that Steph White is, and Cheryl Reeve and Becky Hammond. The goal is to clean up our game, but I do think it's important not to rely on social media screenshots. This is a slippery slope.
What do you mean social media screenshots? We watched it live, dummy. What are you talking about?
And let's watch the whole play, the whole game. We've got more people on our eyes. It's a great league. I hope that we can all agree that consistency is the main thing in how we call these games. React to situations like this with consistency. Let's don't base it on generational talent, fan base involvement, all-star level players, or role players. Let's don't base it off veterans or young players or white players or black players.
Oh, now we go on the race. So first you wanted to bring, let's not do this because somebody's more popular than the other. Let's not do this based on somebody being white and black. But this ain't about white and black. This ain't about none of that, bro. We watched what Alyssa Thomas did. What are you talking about? They always run the race when they have no other angle. They don't have nowhere to go. Race. Like, stop it, dude. Stop it, dude.
Listen to what Nate Tibbetts actually said in that press conference. He starts by saying Alyssa Thomas is supported 100% by the Mercury organization. Fine, that's what coaches do. They support their players. But then he goes further. He calls Alyssa Thomas a competitor and a winner. Nobody disputes that. She's one of the best players in the league. But then he says the one thing she is not is cheap. That's where he loses credibility. Because we have video evidence. Multiple incidents. Alyssa Thomas choking Angel Reese during a game. The clothesline on Caitlin Clark. The hit that injured Breanna Stewart earlier in the season. Nate Tibbetts knows this. He's been in the league long enough to know exactly what kind of player Alyssa Thomas is. She plays physical. Sometimes she crosses the line. That doesn't make her a dirty player in every moment, but it means she has a history. Pretending that history doesn't exist insults everyone's intelligence. But the worst part of that press conference was the accusation that the league's investigation wasn't thorough. Tibbetts complained that nobody from the WNBA called Alyssa Thomas or the Suns security team to get their side of the story. He compared it to NBA investigations, where both sides get interviewed. Here's the problem with that argument. The play was on video. Multiple camera angles, slow-motion replay. High-definition footage showing exactly what happened. What additional context do you need? What could Alyssa Thomas possibly say that would change what everyone saw with their own eyes? This wasn't a judgment call. This wasn't a situation where intent matters. She extended her arm across another player's throat and drove her to the ground. That's a flagrant foul by definition. The only question was whether it warranted a suspension, and the league decided it did. Tibbetts then suggested the suspension was influenced by social media screenshots and Caitlin Clark's fanbase. He said the league should base decisions on consistency, not on whether a player is a generational talent or has a large following. And then he added this line, "Let's not base it on veterans or young players or white players or black players." There it is, the implication that race played a role in the decision, that Alyssa Thomas got suspended because she's black and Caitlin Clark is white and has a predominantly white fan base. Never mind that Angel Reese, who is black, has been on the receiving end of cheap shots from Alyssa Thomas too. Never mind that Breonna Stewart, who is white, got injured by a similar play and nobody got suspended for it. The race card was a desperate move by a coach who knew his player was wrong and had no legitimate defense, and it backfired spectacularly.
Comments, let me know what y'all think. Just keep the vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel. Oh, by the way, the Indiana Fever won. I think Kelsey Mitchell had 26. This game was like drinking NyQuil. Okay, it was like drinking NyQuil. The LA Sparks suck.
The final score was Indiana Fever defeating the Los Angeles Sparks in a game that felt completely meaningless. Kelsey Mitchell scored 26 points. Caitlin Clark had a solid performance. The Fever won easily because the Sparks are one of the worst teams in the league this season. But nobody's talking about the game. Everyone's talking about the empty seats. Here's what makes this attendance crisis so significant for the WNBA. This league just experienced its best season in terms of visibility and mainstream attention in over a decade. Caitlin Clark's arrival brought millions of new fans. Television ratings doubled and sometimes tripled compared to previous years. Merchandise sales skyrocketed. Sponsors started paying attention. The league finally had momentum. And then the WNBA managed to alienate the very fan base that was driving all of that growth. Think about the business implications here. The Indiana Fever sold out their home games consistently during the first half of the season. They expanded capacity. They raised ticket prices. They were generating more revenue than they'd seen in years. That revenue doesn't just benefit the Fever organization. It gets shared across the league through revenue-sharing agreements in the collective bargaining agreement. Now look at what's happening. Attendance cut in half. Fans organizing boycotts. Social media filled with angry former supporters saying they're done with the WNBA. That's not just bad for Indiana. That's bad for every team in the league. Because when the Fever lose half their attendance, every team loses a piece of that shared revenue. The league had one job: protect the player who was bringing in all these new fans. Make sure she stays healthy. Make sure the product on the court is entertaining and not dangerous. Make sure fans feel like their investment of time and money is worthwhile. The WNBA failed at all three. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has been mostly silent through all of this. She issued generic statements about player safety. She talked about the importance of physical play in basketball. She never directly addressed the concerns that Fever fans were raising. She never acknowledged that there might be a problem with how officials are calling games or how the league is handling supplementary discipline. That silence sent a message. It told fans that their concerns didn't matter. It told them that Caitlin Clark's safety was less important than maintaining relationships with veteran players and coaches. It told them that the league valued the old guard more than the new fans who were actually buying tickets and watching games. So the fans responded in the only language that professional sports organizations understand: money. They stopped showing up. They stopped buying merchandise. They stopped engaging with league content on social media. They voted with their wallets and their feet. And now the WNBA has a crisis on its hands. Because those fans aren't coming back just because the league asks nicely. They're not coming back because of promotional giveaways or discount tickets. They're coming back only if they see real change, real protection for Caitlin Clark, real accountability for dangerous plays, real acknowledgement from the league that their concerns were valid. The Fever organization bears responsibility too. Christy Sides is the head coach. She has a microphone in every press conference. She could have called out the dangerous plays. She could have demanded better officiating. She could have made it clear that her team wouldn't tolerate opponents targeting their star player. Instead, she gave diplomatic non-answers and hoped the problem would go away. Kelly Krauskopf is the team president. She has direct access to league officials. She could have made phone calls. She could have filed formal complaints. She could have used her position and influence to demand change. Instead, the Fever front office stayed quiet and hoped that keeping their heads down would protect them from controversy. That strategy failed. The fans saw the silence as complicity. They saw the organization prioritizing its relationship with the league over its responsibility to its players and its fan base. And they decided that if the Fever wouldn't stand up for Caitlin Clark, they wouldn't stand with the Fever. Look at the contrast with how other leagues handle star player protection. When the NBA had issues with players targeting stars, the league cracked down hard. They implemented flagrant foul rules. They suspended players for dangerous plays. They made it clear that injuring marquee players was bad for business and wouldn't be tolerated. The WNBA could learn from that approach. Or look at how European soccer leagues protect their star players. When Lionel Messi was getting targeted with rough tackles early in his career, La Liga officials started calling games tighter. They gave him more protection. They understood that having one of the greatest players in the world sidelined with injuries was bad for the sport. The WNBA seems to have missed that lesson entirely. The Alyssa Thomas suspension was too little too late. One game for a clothesline that could have caused serious injury. One game for a play that had no basketball purpose whatsoever. One game as punishment for potentially ending the career of the player who's single-handedly carrying the league to new heights of popularity. That's not justice. That's a slap on the wrist. And Nate Tibbetts' press conference made it worse. Instead of acknowledging that his player crossed a line, he defended her and attacked everyone who criticized the play. Instead of taking responsibility, he played the victim and accused the league of bias. That kind of deflection might work in the short term, but it destroys credibility in the long run. The fans saw through it immediately. They recognized it for what it was, a coach protecting his player at all costs, even when that player was clearly in the wrong. They saw someone prioritizing team loyalty over basic sportsmanship and player safety, and they rejected it. This boycott represents something bigger than just one game or one incident. It represents a fundamental disconnect between what the WNBA thinks its fans want and what they actually want. The league thinks fans want physical, aggressive basketball with lots of contact and intensity. And sure, fans do want competitive games, but they don't want to watch their favorite players get injured by cheap shots that go unpunished. The league thinks fans will keep showing up no matter what because they love the sport. But these new fans that Caitlin Clark brought in aren't lifelong WNBA devotees. They're casual fans who showed up specifically to watch her play. If she gets hurt, they leave. If they feel like the league doesn't care about protecting her, they leave. And that's exactly what's happening. The empty arena in this game is a warning sign. It's the canary in the coal mine. It's telling the WNBA that they're about to lose everything they've gained this season if they don't change course immediately. The question is whether anyone in the league office is paying attention. Because if this continues, if attendance keeps dropping and fans keep boycotting, the WNBA will look back on this season as a massive missed opportunity. They had a chance to capitalize on unprecedented growth. They had a chance to turn casual fans into long-term supporters. They had a chance to build something sustainable. Instead, they're watching it all fall apart because they couldn't do the one thing that should have been obvious from the start: protect the player who was making it all possible. So where does this go from here? The Fever have more home games coming up. Will attendance continue to drop? Will the boycott spread to other markets? Will other fan bases start organizing similar protests? Or will the league and the Fever organization finally wake up and make the changes that fans are demanding? The answer to those questions will determine whether this WNBA season ends as a breakthrough moment or a cautionary tale. Right now, it's heading toward the latter, and that empty arena is proof that the fans have already made their decision. The only question is whether the league will listen before it's too late.